story pole. And, you know, unlike a book, how many of you know how to read a book? You know how to read a book? We open up the front cover, we read from left to right, we turn the pages, okay? There's a proper way to read a book. When we look at a totem pole, there's not a right or a wrong way to learn about the story of a totem pole. It all depends on the carver. And so the person who commissioned the pole and the carver might want to start at the bottom, they might want to start at the top. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to start at the bottom. And we're going to start at the bottom by talking about this figure right here that looks like a coin. How many of you have seen coins that kind of look like this? Maybe like a penny or a nickel or a dime? Yep. And we have someone's face on it. Now, when you were inside the visitor center, did you see all those black and white pictures? Yes. There was a famous photographer that used to live in Sitka whose name was E.W. Merrill. He also has a rock named after him that's right over there. How many of you have played on Merrill Rock? Played on Merrill Rock? Yep.
I have.
Okay. Can anybody raise their hand and guess who they think this might be?
Merrill.
Yes! Oh, you guys are so good. And if you look underneath him, there is a square with a circle in the middle, and that is a camera. Because he was a famous photographer, and he was the first caretaker of the park. So he was the first kind of manager of the park. So he's an importance to the park's history. And you'll notice that as we talk about the pole, we're going to be talking a lot about the park's history. So we've got E.W. Merrill, and then we have this really striking woman's face. And if you look closely, the women that I see around here, especially that have their hair down, it looks very different than her hair. Her hair looks like an animal. I can see eyes and a mouth, okay, right here, because her hair is salmon. Her hair is made of salmon. And she's wearing a crown of skunk cabbage. Everybody go like this. It's not the spring, so I don't smell any skunk cabbage. But if I went like this during the spring, do you think we could smell it? Yes, it's very fragrant. So she has a skunk cabbage crown, her hair is salmon, and balance is very important. So we have one male salmon here, and we have one female salmon here, and we're going to do some investigating to see if we can tell the difference between the two. She has a skunk cabbage crown, and then going up the side of the pole is devil's club, and devil's club is an important medicinal or plant that has some medicine. And so, who do you think this woman is?
Sheena.
I don't recognize her. I've never met her before, but she represents something, and she represents Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is the great provider. And so, Mother Earth provides salmon, and important plants. Okay? Above her is a totem pole. There's a totem pole inside a totem pole. And so, Mr. Charlie was saying earlier that many of the totem poles here are Haida totem poles. A Tlingit carver carved this pole, and that's why, out of respect to the old poles, he put another totem pole inside the pole. She is Mother Nature, you're right. Now everybody go like this. Okay? Earlier, we were looking at Kwakyukitzis, boys, and that's a different shape, right? If I put this square up here, I see something that's very different than the Kwakyukitzis that we found. And that square is a plaque. Now, we've talked a lot about the native people that have lived here for a very, very long time, but there was another group of people that lived here for a very short period of time, and that's the Russians, and that talks to the Russian history. And above that, that circular thing with the pegs in it, or the holes in it, that is a calendar. Does your calendar look like that? No, it's a Russian-style calendar. Now, everybody, raise your hand if you see the circle with the holes in it. Raise your hand. Okay, look above the circle with the holes in it. If I look above the circle with the holes in it, I see an animal with
a shield?
It's a blanket. It's a blanket. A raven's tail blanket. I heard someone say it. Who said it?
Bison.
It's a bison. Now, why would they have a bison on a totem pole in Southeast Alaska? There are no bison in Southeast Alaska. Well, if you look in my bag, at the very bottom, you'll notice that there is a white buffalo. For the Park Service, the white buffalo is an important image, just like Mother Earth is an important image. Okay? And that represents the park's history here. Above that, we have to really look closely and kind of turn our necks up. I can see a red bird on the bottom and a black bird on the top. Everybody put your hands like this. That's the shape birds are in. Those birds are holding hands. And at the very top, the blackbird with the ears and the straight bill is a raven, and the bottom bird is an eagle. And that carving on the very top represents the relationship between the native tribes and the different moieties, okay, and their important relationship. And this pole, through all of those figures that are carved on the pole, tell us the story of the 100 years of the park. I like it. It's pretty fun. And I'm glad that we're able to tell it. Before we do our next activity, does anybody have any questions about this specific pole we talked about? Any questions? Okay, maybe one, two, yeah?